Say it again.
Mr. Jones, teach us about objective 105.
Okay, we'll do it.
There you go.
All right, 105. Here's the difference. You were doing inequalities last week that were y mx plus b inequalities. One variable means one letter, x or y. So on this objective, all your inequalities are either going to have an x or y, and that's it. You're not going to have y equals mx plus b. But we're still going to put them in the coordinate plane, as you can kind of see on the answers, which is going to be a little bit weird. So we need to see how this works. All graph lines will either be horizontal or vertical. Horizontal or vertical. Now think about it. When you graph lines, not inequalities, when you graph lines, and they just say y equals a number, y equals 3, is that horizontal or vertical? Y equals a 3. Y equals 5.
It's vertical.
Horizontal.
I mean, yeah, I meant like this.
Yeah, flat, horizontal. So if you have y equals, it's flat. That's the same as what the inequalities are going to do. If you have just x, it's vertical. You got to keep that in mind because that's what you're going to see on all of these. So the next question up is, if the inequality just has x, you don't have x and y, you just have x, will you be horizontal or vertical? Just x will be vertical. Just y will be horizontal. Keep it in mind. Because a lot of times, just knowing that, you get 50-50 just by going, there's only a y, so it can only be like A and C. Likewise, here's the thing that's really important. We're going to graph those lines, vertical or horizontal, but then you need to know if they need to be dotted or solid, and where to shade. If you don't have the equals to, you just have less than or greater than, are you solid or dotted? Dotted. So that's a big thing to know. If you don't have the equals to, you're going to be dotted. If you have the equals to, what do we say?
Solid.
Solid. All right, so let's come straight down to the first one we got. First question I'm going to ask is, we don't have x and y. What letter do we have?
Y.
Y. So what would you expect, horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal.
Horizontal. Look at your 4 answer choices. Tell me which 2 are horizontal. A and C. So you can eliminate these ones right here. They're gone. Now, you have an inequality that doesn't have the equal to. So should you expect that to be solid or dotted?
Dotted.
Dotted. That doesn't help us much because honestly A and C are both dotted. Alright, so we got to solve this inequality for y. So because it's not solved, because it's kind of, we got a coefficient over here on the y, what am I going to do to get that off? Divide it. So I'm going to divide by what?
-8.
-8. Now, if I divide by -8, that means something about this. What happens with this? It flips. So it was less than, now it's greater. All right, let's find out. Y is now greater than -40 over -8. It's positive what? 5. Here's your inequality. Y is greater than 5. Greater thans. You got a flat line, flat dotted line at 5. If you look at A and C, both of them have flat dotted lines at 5. Should you be shading above or below that line though? With greater than? So shade up. Shade above. So we're looking at C, shading up. Shading up, just like that. Pretty easy, that's the first one. All right, here we go. Joby's got this.
No, we don't.
Behind you. Throw it behind.
Oh, too easy. Too
Bad
easy.
boy.
easy.
Too easy. Hey, somebody's got to be under the basket. He's Shaq right here. Just put him
It
in.
doesn't even look like Shaq.
Joby can be Shaq.
You know what? No. You see this schematic?
All right, here we go. Next page. Next page. Next page. Next page. Attention this way. Let's get through this. Problem we're going to have on the back side here is we're going to have x's, no y's. So your problem is when you have x, what kind of line are you if you just have x?
Dotted. Wait. Vertical.
Just vertical. You could be solid or dotted. here's the thing though, when you go to shade, you cannot shade above or below a vertical line. So the shading is a little different. Instead of shading above and below, it's going to be shading left or right. Less than means left of. So if you have a vertical and you have a less than, you shade left. So on the x's, if you have a less than, you shade left. If you have a greater than, you shade right. And here's our first x problem. We have a less than without the equal to sign, so are we solid or dotted? No equal to? Dotted. Preston, you're like Jeff last hour. He said solid no matter what I said. I was like, so you don't have the equal to, what do we do? Solid. Okay, if we have the equal to, solid. Okay, what about this one? Solid. Okay. So I waited until I found one for him. He was set. Everything was solid for Jeff.
Yes, solid.
He had solid. He just didn't want to do any dotted lines, I don't think. Coefficients. How do we take care of it?
Divide.
Divide. Is it negative?
Yes.
What's that going to do about this?
Okay.
Sign flip. Keep that in mind. You were less than, but we sign flip to greater than. X is now greater than what? Positive 5. All right, so let's look at all our possible answers. We want a vertical line. Where's my two vertical lines at? We got 5 again. X is greater than 5. So you're going to put a vertical line over to the right 5. Vertical line, dotted. And the question is, now that it's greater than, are you going to shade left or shade right?
Right.
Shade right. And it will be
C.
shade right. And it will be C. Shade right. This last one's ridiculous because it's already done for you. Now, don't get ahead of yourself. First, I want to just ask, does this thing have only, what letter does this one have right here? This is just X. So that means what kind of line? Vertical or horizontal? Just X means
It's like magnet.
vertical. Jeff, what kind of line am I going to be using when it's got the equal to in it? Solid. Solid. Like 1 of 3 today. Solid. 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 Jeff only knows solid lines. That's what I'm saying. All right, so it's solid. So what two answers could we possibly be?
C and A are going to be crossed out.
See, yeah, A and C are crossed out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Good save.
Good set. Good set. All right, now this is the best type of problem because it's pretty much done for you. X is greater than or equal to 3. All you got to care about is the shade. Shade left or shade right when you got greater than on X.
Right.
Shade right. Which one is shading right?
D.
Oh.
And it's that easy. Shade right. Let's get a solid line. Finally for Jeff, solid line. Shade to the right. That's it.
Here you go. Here you go.
No, let me.
You were so far away back there.
Let's see if you can make it.
You were like half court shot back there.
Hey.
Please make it.
Half court shot for Lee.
All right, let's go. Hey, Lee, are you a pitcher?
I say he doesn't make it, and Taylor, let it go in. You can get the putback shot. That was pretty close, though. That was pretty close. All right, that's it. That's it. Now we go ahead and get started.